I did it before and I can do it again. You know, all of us go through periods of time where things don't go right. Sometimes there's a snowball effect. Sometimes there's bad luck circling around, you know, and it's sometimes you just feel like there's nothing you can do going right, and everything's against you. And we all have seasons of that, periods of that, days like that, sometimes years like that. And I remember one time, I was doing a live event and I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta Convention Center, thousands of people. And at the end, it was my want for the first 20 years of this business. I'd do a meet and greet at the end and just meet people who wanted to, you know, say hi or whatever else or ask a question. And sometimes these things would go on for quite some time. So many times I learned throughout doing this over the years that I'd see somebody who kind of wasn't in line but was hanging back and was waiting until I was all by myself. Sometimes they had a business proposal for me. Sometimes they had this. But a lot of times those were often very heartfelt conversations that someone wanted to have. And usually it was of a very personal manner. And I'd have my staff, you know, a couple of them on either side of me when I was doing these meet and greets. And if somebody had a situation, I'd write on the back of a card or a book to send them or whatever else. But when I would get into these situations, and I got into a conversation with this lady in Atlanta, I had my staff take a little step back because I knew she was struggling. Now, from the outside, this was a very attractive lady. She looked like, the best way I could describe her, she looked like a newscaster, you know, just really put together. And the hair was imperfect, and she was very well dressed and very articulate lady. And she goes, "Look, Brian, I just wanted to talk to you. You know, and then she can't talk." And I'm like, uh-oh. And next thing you know, the tears start. And she just like went from being like the super dignified, articulate lady to just kind of losing it. So I'm kind of holding her shoulders and just say, "Yeah, all right." And she goes on to tell me that, you know, she'd been married for 25 years. She raised 2 great kids. And her husband just kind of up and left and went out with another woman and just left her overnight. And now she found herself needing to support herself and re-enter the workplace. And she hadn't worked outside the home in 25 years. Her husband had been a successful attorney. And she was just racked with fear and racked with doubt. And then she just looked at me and she was composing herself. Like, she was strong, she was tough, but she was gathering herself together. And she goes, "I just have never done anything." And that's when I knew, okay, there's my answer. So I said, okay, well, let's just forget about business for right now and what you need or whatever else. Tell me about your life. Tell me about the last 25 years. What you been up to? And what I was looking for was, what had she done before? Well, turns out she'd raised 2 kids. And one was in medical school, and one was already on the brink of being a lawyer. The kids were married. They were, you know, just in healthy relationships, living close by. Both the kids had reached out to her. "Hey, Mom, you want to move in with us? We'd love to have you," type thing. And so I stopped her there and I said, first of all, that might be the most difficult job in the history of mankind, is raising kids. It sounds like you've done a marvelous job there. So, okay, let's keep that in mind, because if you can do that, you can certainly help people buy and sell a home. I said, "What else have you done?" Well, now all of a sudden she starts she sees where I'm going. She goes, "Well, I was involved. I was head of the PTA. I did this. In fact, we did a fundraiser, and I actually led the fundraiser we raised $1.9 million to expand the school's gym." And then she gets talking, and she goes, boom, another one. She kept going on. And bit by bit, like it was like a light bulb went on inside her. Once she knew where I was after, it's like, what have you done before? What have you accomplished before? Not what have you done in this specific space. So she's brand new at getting a real estate license. "I don't know anything. I haven't done anything. I haven't made a sale. I haven't done anything." And she went from completely lost to realizing, hang on a second here. I have things in my memory bank, my genuine, authentic, unconscious mind of things I actually have done that I'm proud of, things I've accomplished that I'm proud of. It had just been forgotten. She felt like a failure. Her husband left her, but she felt like a failure. I know many people can relate to that. She got into his brand new business out of not a great set of circumstances. She felt like a failure. She hadn't done any business yet. She felt like a failure. She just had forgotten who she was and what she'd done. And this is an exercise I've had many, many people do in seminars all over the world, which I'll have them make a list of. Our first subpoint here is, what have you accomplished in the past? What have you accomplished? I don't care what it is. I don't care if you won a geography award. I don't care if you built a website. Whatever it was, what things have you done in your life? Because if you did it before, you actually can do it again. What have you done in your past? Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to think, feel, and do better, check out these videos too. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a like if you enjoyed the content.